Right, so here we're gonna do theming for a new customer. So, for example, I've taken Diplomat Suites. Um, so, since we already have a branch for Diplomat, I'm just gonna make a fake Diplomat, like Diplomat 2, just for an example. So, you say, and the flow starts like this. You basically do all the development in live branch, which is unstable. Then you check out master. uh, Whenever things are, one sec, come to master, and whenever things are very stable in live, you merge them into master, and master is something stable from which you extract new customer branches. So let's call this guy Diplomat 2, and let's shoot off a branch. So jet branch Diplomat 2, done. And now let's check out to that branch 2, and one sec, uh, there's some changes in checklist, but anyway, we'll take care of that later. So now that you have started off a new branch, what you essentially want to do is test it out and do a little bit of theming. So before that, there are some conventions. For example, the settings file has to be in the name of branch name underscore settings. So we're gonna copy paste the boilerplate live settings and make it diplomat2 underscore settings dot py. No. And we are just gonna edit that file. So by default, we're gonna have build mode as development. If you merge from latest live branch, you will have all this commented and everything explained. This master is kind of old. I'm not merging because it seems in master that the last merge was from June 15th. So I think it's being merged from dev branch. So I wouldn't touch that right now because then other guys can have issues. So we're just gonna go ahead with the old one, and API base is fine. For production, API domain would be diplomat2. In the debugger, we don't need it. Analytics cache enabled. For development, we actually want the API domain to be live because right now my MAMP server, which I'm running here, is just running live. So we'll let it be like that. And app title is the title name, so call it Diplomat Suites. If you have the latest version of live merged into master, you will see that even this is commented out, and it's mentioned that this text cannot be, like, iOS actually strips this text by 12 characters, so be careful with that. Enable maps, enable social icons, Google Maps API key. Google Maps API key we hardly have to change, but in future if there is a problem you can. So we got our settings file done, and what else is needed? So once you shoot off a new branch, you need custom welcome controllers. So for right now it's pretty similar to live Organico, Diplomat here and live Organico here. So we are gonna just go ahead and copy paste live welcome as diplomat 2 underscore welcome dot js. Oops, something went wrong. Oops, the autocomplete. Live underscore welcome diplomat 2 underscore welcome. And similarly in the view, we wanna copy live underscore welcome as diplomat 2 underscore welcome dot js. Now let's go ahead in our editor, and settings we have already gone through. There was only one change, API domain in production. whereas for development we are using live. And we've got deploy mat2 underscore welcome. This is the welcome controller, so just remember to rename its class name. And I don't think there is anything else needed here. All the code remains same. And go to the view, and I think here we need to excuse me. So now we got the custom view. We got that. Reservations, I don't think we'll have for Diplomat Suites. Let's check out the settings. Diplomat2 underscore settings. It actually doesn't have that has reservations, so we are not going to touch that. But in case there is a customer who has reservations and the kitchen doesn't have the API yet, what you have to do is copy paste live underscore reservations.js and basically name it as diplomat2 underscore reservations.js. What it exactly has is just the key value pairs. Now in future, all you need to do is enable this proxy here, and once you enable this proxy, the data is going to come from API server, so you can basically get rid of these custom names and you can call it app.store.reservations and rename the file as reservations.js. And you can also get rid of in app.js, you can also get rid of the place where this check is there and the custom reservations file is added. Instead of that, in future, once you get the proxy working, you can basically say app.store.reservations instead of that. So got Diplomat 2, we have almost bootstrapped it. We got the custom welcome controller and view copy pasted, and just we just renamed the class name so that it matches when Sancha loads it. And the other thing we have to do for a new customer is basically make him a new theme. So let's see if this guy is also commented or not. So I think this is commented. Awesome. So for what we're going to do is copy live.scss, and remember the convention, everything has branch name. So for this branch, Diplomat2, we'll call it diplomat2.scss. And once you go inside images, you see these folders for all the customers. They contain all the images. So for I think Paninoteca and all these are empty because they did not belong to this repository. So always, don't bother about any of these folders which don't belong to your branch. Don't try to remove them and stuff. That might cause problem unless it's not causing a problem here in JIT status. Unless it's not bothering you in JIT status, don't bother about these files around here and there. For example, you should not bother about why drizzle settings underscore py file is here. It's just here because it got generated on my system because I was customizing those branches, and it's a file ignored by jitignore, so it never really comes in my JIT status. So now what you're going to do is go to themes. You've already got the diplomat2.scss file. Go to images, and all you need to do is take off the boilerplate live folder and rename it as the branch name, which is diplomat2. Oh yeah, okay. So we have got diplomat2 folder here, which has all those images which we are gonna edit and replace with stuff. Now let's start theming. So before theming, you need to be able to test this thing, and to start testing, we just do a build of this branch, and it's just built in development mode. Now if you refresh your page, you see Diplomat suites around here. That's coming from app.title and Diplomat suite, Diplomat 2 settings by. So let's start theming. So we'll go around Diplomat 2.scss. You can add some fancy art here. I'll just say Diplomat Ops 2 and example branch not meant for production. Okay, so just go through all this. Base color, base UI color affects the general UI items. Let's see how this works. So for this guy, most probably the base color is gonna be something like a little brownish. So let's see. And also another good thing to do right now is go to another terminal. So go to your branch, go to your themes folder, and just say compass watch. So the moment you change your CSS files, it's gonna basically start generating CSS files. And okay, so let's change the base color and see what happens. So Compass has seen that this file is changed. It's written a CSS file. We refresh the page. Nothing happens, but wait a sec. Something went wrong. So we see that it's trying to load live.css. It should actually load diplomat2.css file. Let's see what's going on there. Index. Oops. So build should actually give me okay, so one sec. Now here's the problem. Right now our diplomat setting says that in development API domain should be live, so it's trying to use that and to generate CSS file name and image file name and other things. So should just change it to diplomat 2 and do a new build. And now if you refresh, you will see it's trying to load the actual diplomat2.css file. Yep, and when it's trying to do API calls, it's actually going on as okay. Fine. So now I got our CSS loaded. Now we have changed the color. Now since we are going to be concentrating on theming, so just run compass and watch mode again. Just refresh it, go to menu. Now you see these brown colors. Now for example, if you go back, if you go to contact us and see this brownish color everywhere, so that's the base color. And for this customer, we are gonna go ahead with something brown. This is just an example. So now base gradient, it can be glossy, it can be bevel. Let's try matte, and let's just save it. So Compass has seen that this file has changed. It says overwritten the CSS. Now we just go refresh it. And see the small change, that small separation in the gradient has gone. It has become more matte-like. So you can just play around with different kind of gradients for default elements in Cincha Touch. Now confirm color. Sorry. So this is for alert boxes, and since we are dealing with a brownish UI, let's just pick orange and place it here. Base shadow color. Shadow is used inside text boxes here and a lot of other places. So base shadow color, this must be green because it has been forked from live. Let's get something brownish, and we are done. Now color for big buttons, this is something major, and here we want to have this brown kind of stuff. So let's just replace that with this kind of brown color. Just pick it, and yeah, it should be glossy to look like this. So big button base color brownish, and Compass has compiled the CSS, and you see your changes here. If you want something more icy, you can just go ahead and pick this color and just replace it. So for a change, let's go with icy. I think Compass. Yeah. No, it doesn't look too good. Let's go brown anyway. So next thing is main menu items. So for example, these items, this green color here. So we really want that to be some sort of brown. So this kind of green. We want something darker. Maybe this will do. And checkout gradient color. Now checkout button is when you basically, oops, something wrong. Okay, this is the some sort of master I don't know about, so I'll not look into that. The light version I'm working on is kind of working. Anyway, so the checkout button gradient is for the checkout button, and you. So you basically just go ahead and let's get something interesting, kind of bluish stuff here. Maybe something more bright. No, this doesn't look good. But anyway, just for fun's sake, let's get this bluish color here. We won't be able to see checkout button here, but maybe won't be able to see that anyway. So primary gradient color, what is this? So the second brownish done. You have main menu items and featured items done. Base color for checkout buttons gradient done. So customizations for subtitle. Now subtitle is something which you see around here. This is our menu is the subtitle. So subtitle gradient color, this must be something like darkish green here. For this guy, I think we'll pick up something like creamy and just put it up there. Border style solid, you can just go around, play with that. Some guys might need dashed border. Border color, what we use here is Compass, and use Compass to basically darken the subtitle gradient color by 30%. So you don't have to redefine this color, you just pick one color and it's automatically done. And some clients might need a little bit of shadow around this, so if you need it, just set it up. Now subtitle text color, sometimes you don't prefer black, sometimes the background is black, so you want something white, for example Axles and Bonfire. So for that you can just uncomment this line, these three lines, and basically set your color here. For this example, I don't think we are gonna need. Let's check it out. It's looking fine, so we are not gonna need that. Now for the upper portion, let's pick something darker. So this is called toolbar top and toolbar bottom. You can have a kind of gradient behind the toolbar. So toolbar top, we are going to pick this, and we are going to pick a darker version of this at toolbar bottom, and let Compass compile it, and let's see how it looks. Okay, looks fine. And so we got brown stuff laid out all over, and what is left in the theme to change? So item name color, I think we are fine with that. It's greenish though, so let's get rid of that greenish, pick something brown, and go ahead. And toolbar image, so toolbar image is this logo, and for this client we have a different kind of logo. So let's see how the PSD file looks. Oops. So let's check out where is the logo. I'm not sure. Shape 3. Oh yeah, logo is nicely done, and it's a smart object with a drop shadow. So what we are going to do is convert this to smart object. How can I rasterize? Okay, fine. Gonna just take this thing in full resolution, and we see that there is some sort of stuff around here, so we're just gonna make it transparent at the bottom in case. Oops. What the fuck? Anyway. Okay. So this is gonna go ahead and be saved as InnoScale themes, images, and you know which theme we are working on. We are working on Diplomat 2, and the toolbar image is app title. Oops, excuse me. This is the main logo, not the toolbar image. Let me just redo that when I come to it. So actually, in the design, we don't have anything for that place. So what we are gonna do is basically pick this D and P or something like that. So let's see how the logo is done. I think Alex has done something called logo copy, which is the smaller version for title bar. So then just maybe pick that one out. Maybe just rasterize this layer. Control A, Control C, Control N, Control V. Yeah, I guess this is gonna do. So what we need to do is we're gonna open up. Remember, this is Diplomat, so we're gonna open up Diplomat's app title and get rid of everything here. And do we have a size for title bar? We have left padding. Okay, so we're just gonna take this image. So if you're interested in high resolution app title.png, look at some of the examples done for Bonfire and Axels. So they had issues with the resolution of this app title, but now they don't. And we have tried to push in HD, like high resolution images there. But right now I'm just gonna resize it and take it as an example. So we just save it as app title.png in Diplomat 2. And let's recheck toolbar image. Images live. Now this live has to become Diplomat 2. In future, what you can do is you can basically have the live.scss file as live.scss.tpl, and everywhere you got this live, which is to be changed into Diplomat 2, like a lot of places in the whole thing. That can be compiled from the template itself. So since we have changed our CSS file, let's see how it looks. Okay, there we got DP, little bit of some logo there, but that's fine. Now let's get down. So panel background color. So panel background is this background. All these white texts are like panels, and for example, all these white things are panels. They are called content panel in the code. So if you want to change the background color there for some reason, for some client, then you can go ahead, do it here. If you want to change the text color, let's make it little, anyway. So if you want to change the panel's text color, you can also go ahead. Live Organico had some greenish kind of theme. So even the text color is like bluish, greenish, dark, grayish. So splash screen. Now splash screen comes when you have app added to home screen, and there is a small gap in which Safari the Safari which comes up in full screen mode actually tries to render the app, and before that you have the live screen. So let's see how the live screen looks. It's very generic. It's not something particular to customers, so we don't want to change that. What we're going to do is we just want to change the folder name. Make sure everywhere you have images/live and you have bootstrapped a new branch for a new customer. You just go and change all the /live to /diplomat2. As I said, you can also start theming this, templating this using Jinja 2. So TOC link color, this is for color of the terms and conditions link. Let's make it dark blue or something, just for fun. And welcome screen customizations now. So again, as I said, change the name. Okay, so now it says you just have to define an image, and you have to just go ahead and do a width and height. So you can just go to the Photoshop file, you can reset it, take this small square piece out and save it as logo.png. But if you want to have a retina kind of logo, so let's try to, since this screen is designed for HD, let's try to get a HD image here. So we'll comment this whole section, which says for non-retina, and for retina we are just gonna go ahead and uncomment all this. So welcome logo image, again change the folder name, diplomat2, logo at 2x.png. So let's just grab the logo this guy has, and one sec, rasterize there, and you just go down, clear up some transparency here because we don't want this brownish stuff to overlap, and save it as, and here you don't have to resize or do anything, so just logo at 2x. Just remember it is height in 150, width in 180 pixels. And now some of the customers had really huge, for example Live Organico, this is this wide. Some of the customers had really huge banners which are expanding like as wide as the screen. So for there we had 320px, but I think this guy is about 181. So measurements always happen in 320 by 640 on iOS, 320 by 480, whereas actual display density covers up 640 in that small width. So all your calculations are going to be based on 320, and since this design was done on 640, the 181 should be halved. So I got 90.5, you can just say 91px. Oops. And for height 150 by 2, so that will be 75px. And let's see how it goes. So Compass has finished compiling, and this is how it looks. There is some brown border there. So for the round border, maybe you can give some extra height in it. No. Oops, that doesn't work. I think what we should do is just give it a little bit of padding. Anyway, so in one of the themes I've got rid of the round corners. Just I think in Diplomat 1, I don't remember how I was doing some padding or margin. Just look at Diplomat 1 for an example of how to get rid of these round edges on the image. So now what else are we left with? So main backdrop image. So main backdrop color, this theme was supposed to be lightweight, so this has a small color which is gradiented here. Instead of that, what we are going to do is we are not using something based on color, so we're just going to comment this stuff out, and we're going to pick #2, which is if you are using background images, and we're just going to uncomment this part out. And this is coming from Bonfire. So anyway, remember the rule, you just have to change everything on images / to images / your branch name. So diplomat to appbg.jpg. So let's make a JPEG for the background. Now we don't need logo, we don't need these things. You don't need these social icons. You don't need there. They'll come automatically. And this is the basic background we have got. And we're gonna save it as JPEG medium. It's coming out to be 9 KB, huge. So CSS says supposed to be app-pg. So there's no app-pg. Now save this file and see. Let's see how it goes. Oops, there's a syntax error. Oh, actually, main backdrop color is needed, but you have to pick from either this or either this. Main backdrop color you have to define. So we're gonna just pick a color which is very close to the background image itself, so that we're gonna be safe. And let's see if Compass compiled successfully. Oh yeah, it did. And we got the background done. And if I go ahead and enable social icons, let's see if they look as good. Menu scale, kitchen, live admin tester. Just go to social, just enable some stuff. Oops. So, enable some more. Okay, let's see how it goes. So there we go. Now the problem is that this thing has a background. So let's see. So we are done till here. We are done till main background image. We are done till welcome screen. And what is this film background? So in most of the cases, you basically need not worry about this small issue here, but in some themes they might not need this whole background thing here. So let's just inspect and let's see how we can implement something custom for Diplomat 2, which actually goes and overrides this and makes it transparent. So let's see if we have anything here. We don't have. So in base.scss we got social panel, and what it does is it basically includes a background image with a gradient generated from main backdrop color. So essentially what you want to do is you want to override this small piece in Diplomat 2. Now the problem is you should not do changes which are custom to a customer in _base.scss, because base.scss is something which will be merged continuously into new branches, and which will have bug fixes, and which will have the CSS definition, which is very common to all the projects, all the customers. For example, you can see, for example, submenu items and stuff like that. So what diplomat.scss does is it defines the variables, value for the variables, and it includes base.scss. Now base.scss uses those variables to generate these gradients and these colors and darken, lighten, and basically styles everything. Now what you want to do is you want to basically override some stuff. So what we are going to do is we are going to like import. So now all these variables have been defined above. Then base has been imported, which has included Sencha and used those variables and produced something. And now we need some more overrides. So the way to do that is you just make a new SCSS file. Let's call it so you see there is add to home.scss, and if you import the latest branch of live, if you merge the latest branch of live, add to home stuff is actually an inclusion, like an import. We don't see it here because our master is old, but anyway, you're gonna just read the comment and understand what's going on there. So we want to do some overrides. So let's make a file. Let's call it diplomat 2 underscore overrides dot scss. Now this file is gonna have all these things which we wanna like deviate away from the standard, and we want to do more than just changing colors. We want to actually make the bottom social panel as transparent. So we're going to include this file, and right now I guess we should restart Compass in watch mode so that it keeps compiling our stuff. Now we're going to open this file, diplomat overrides.scss, and let's pick up that place where a lot of stuff is defined for social panel. Close the brace, and we don't want an image in the background, so we just say background image none, and let's see. So Compass compiled it again, and there you go, we are done. And we also want to get rid of this stupid border. So never make a thumb rule, never make a change in base.scss. Make changes in base.scss which are universal, which are common, so that you have tested it on live, and so that it can actually go inside master and go into other customers. And also inside base.scss, try to avoid using any hard-coded colors or hard-coded, basically hard-coded colors. Hold on. Hey, can you hold on? I'm actually recording a video. Yeah, one sec. Yeah. Who? Yeah, I have. Oh. How far is it? Or should we get some beer or something? Okay. Okay, I'll call you. Yeah, I'll call you. Bye. Excuse me for that. So yeah, we have got rid of the background. We want to get rid of the border also. None. And let's let the Compass compiler compile it and just refresh it, and there you go. It looks something similar to what these guys look like. And so I can't show you the ordering stuff right now because master is unstable, there's some issue, but you can just roam around and generally see that all the UI elements have changed, and it looks really like a new customer. And now what you want to do is you have themed it. Now remember, you have made a new branch supposedly out of master, which is stable, and you have added few new files, so you should do a jet status before doing anything else now. So it says SendJetS has new commits, blah. Now it says these are the new files, and what we want to do is jet add these files to our repository on this branch. Don't miss to add them, because if you don't add all of them, they're gonna be missing, and if they are missing, you're gonna have issues. So now let's do jet status. Now it says, okay, fine, these are the new files, these are the things we have done here. We have changed images, we have changed the SCSS file, we have added an override file, we have changed the settings, we have added a custom, we just copy pasted and bootstrapped a custom welcome screen and welcome hue. And if a customer needs something really different for their welcome screen, you can go ahead and make changes here. And this is something which is very particular to your Diplomat 2 branch and not for master or dev. So you're not going to have any merge conflicts, and you're going to be in peace. So how do you update this branch? So let's say tomorrow Ed or someone has worked and pushed some new features and new bug fixes to live. They have tested it on live and they have merged it to master because they felt that it is very stable. And now you want to merge those changes into this new customer called Diplomat 2, which was deployed 1 month ago, and he needs some bug fixes. He needs those bug fixes which we have actually provided to all the other guys also. For example, if you have 5 customers and one customer comes with a bug, good. You actually don't have to hear that from 5 customers. And once you know that there is a bug, you can fix it in live, test it, merge into master, and from master merge into all the XYZ customer branches you have got. You can actually write a script for this later, maybe a Python script or maybe a shell script. And if you want to do it manually, you just have to do git merge master inside from a customer branch. That's all. We don't have any changes. Everything is up to date. And let's deploy it then. Root at flow. So the deployment script is basically gonna do a git commit and gonna try to push a new branch of Diplomat 2 on the server. Then it's gonna go on the server, basically make a clone of it, a lightweight clone, which is something like 3.4 MB now, and it's just gonna go ahead and compile the CSS file there. And if we go into the server, so let it finish. Yeah, so now if we SSH into the server and we go to /var/www /var/www, so we see that it's made a new folder called Diplomat 2, and the file permissions are changed to www data. And if you go inside Diplomat 2, Diplomat 2, you will see that there is index.html. There is all those files which are supposed to be built have been built on the server itself. Now, now what you want to do is you want to go to etc/nginx sites enabled, and we'll take the old Diplomat as an example. So you basically have to just take this boilerplate and change the root folder to Diplomat 2, change the server name as m.diplomat2.manuscale.com or m.xyz.com, depending on the customer. And yeah, I've got to save this file, I've got to restart Nginx, and then you got to ask Rabi to like hook these domains, and then you're done with deployment. And in future, what you're gonna do basically is, if there is a special requirement for this customer, mostly maybe in the welcome screen or in the theme, so you're gonna work on this branch, and you're gonna touch only those files which begin with which are named as the branch name, or which begin with Diplomat2 underscore. And if there are bugs which are very generic, which are like in the system, for example, like let's say tax calculation is wrong, or for example, let's say there are some changes in the way API sends the data and you actually have to remodel, those changes you're going to do in dev or live branch, then you're going to test them, then you're going to merge them into master. And when you want to roll out those releases on different customers, you're going to just basically check out to their branch, merge the master, and run fab deploy -h root at flow.2.2hq.com, and it's going to just update the deployment. And keep looking at Git status as to what you are doing, because there might be some files which might get missed. And if you have, let's say, made a new customer branch and you basically themed it out and you forgot to add those files into the repository, and you deploy it and you're wondering, where is my file? It's not going to show up. Most probably the build script is going to fail. So anyway, just follow what you saw in this video about theming. And this is how you go from that greenish kind of UI to something for Diplomat Suites, which is brown and creamy and icy in color. So that's theming for you, and a little bit of